Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast, a no judgment zone podcast that covers lifestyle, entertainment, news, and sports. Even though KC doesn't watch sports, but these are minor details. By the way, he reads tarot cards too. Yes, I really mean it. He reads tarot cards too. And now, the host you've tuned in for, KC Phoenix.
Welcome back to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix. Now, this particular story, I had seen this and I'm like, this is kind of crass or disgusting or whatever adjective you want to add to this. But at the same time, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting too for news. So I decided I wanted to cover it. And that's what I'm doing. I already put the explicit on the podcast episode. So for those who are listening, you should already know, okay, this is going to be a little bit but at the same time, it's whatever. Now, for me, I'm kind of like, when I first glanced over this, because I have not read the entire article, I just glanced over the title and read like 2 or 3 sentences. And one side of me is like, really? Is this what the world is coming to? But the entrepreneur side of me is like, do your thing. I'm so proud of you. You found a way to monetize this. Anyways, before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Let's get into this article. Now, in my title of the episode, the podcast episode, it says flatulence sold in a jar. For those who don't know, flatulence is another term for gas, which I actually learned in my biology class, because one day it was in Miss Woodward's class. I was in the 10th grade. It's amazing how my Mercury is also in Cancer, even though I'm a Cancer too, but my Mercury's in Cancer. That's why I remember just random things at times. And I'll never forget it. Well, I'm not going to say his name. But he has said such and such farted is what he said. And then Miss Woodward was like, don't say that word. Call it flatulence. And that's when that word stuck with me. And yeah, it was in the 10th grade. Let me tell you, she was one of the hardest teachers I ever, because it was a CP class. It was CP biology. And when I tell you it was hard, our exam was 200 questions. I kid you not. Exam was 200 questions. Was it 2 or was it? No, it was 200, because we had to use the front and back. Remember those little Scantron things that you had to do the bubbles and stuff, and you would turn them in and everything? I'm pretty sure it was 200. It was it 100 or 2? Because it was like 50, no, or was it 100 on the front, 100 on the back? Regardless, we use the front and the back of the thing. Usually with those type of tests, we use just a few. With other teachers. With Miss Woodward, we use the entire thing for our exam. Miss Woodward and Miss Langston were 2 of my hardest teachers. Miss Woodward, she was... Hold on, that wasn't 10th grade. CP biology was 9th grade, I believe. Or was it 10th? Hold on, it might have been 10th. Regardless, her and Miss Langston were the hardest teachers at my school. Miss Langston, which was my Western Civ teacher. When I tell you, oh my God, don't even have me go there. I know people are like, KC, are we going to get to the story or not? let me just tell you before I get to the story. In Miss Langston's class, we had to do paragraphs on top of paragraphs to answer her questions, because usually the question that she asked, we had to give the political, the economic, and the social reason for the answer to the question. Like, what were the effects politically, economically, and socially? And it had to be a paragraph for each one. In our final exam in Miss Langston's class was 10 questions, so we had to write 30 paragraphs for our final exam. I kid you not. But yeah, but I love Miss Langston and Miss Woodward. They were both cool teachers. Good times. I digress. Let me get to this. So, adult content creator selling her farts in a jar, hospitalized for farting too much. If there's demand, there will always be supply, for better or for worse. You really can buy literally anything on the internet. Case in point, you're able to purchase a pretty woman's farts in a jar. We really wish we were kidding about that. Stephanie Matto first came into the public eye when she starred on the reality TV show 90 Day Fiancé. See, I've heard of 90 Day Fiancé. I haven't watched 90 Day Fiancé. Not my thing, but I do want to watch Joe Millionaire. It's saved in my Hulu thing. I just have to get to it because, you know, I do other things. I run a podcast and other stuff. So yeah, but I digress. After that, she decided to take her career in a completely different direction. Since November 2021, Matto has been spelling her jarred farts over the internet. She first got the idea after one person offered to buy a jar of her intestinal emissions on an adult content site she was active on. Soon enough, her new business started booming. And what a lucrative business it is. It turns out that people are willing to pay absolutely filthy amounts of money for Matto's trap farts. Before her big holiday sale, yes, she had a holiday sale, she was charging $1,000 per jar. In just 1 week, Matto managed to bring in $45,000. She explained on her Instagram. In total, she's so far profited a nice $200,000 from her fart jar business. I honestly could not believe the demand. I think a lot of people have this fetish in secret, Matto told Jam Press. If this made you wish to if this made you wish to get a Matto fart in a jar of your own, first of all, ew, and second, you're too late. Matto's fart jar has unfortunately come to an end. That's because she had to go to the hospital for excessive gastrointestinal discomfort, a gaseous diet. At $1,000 a pop, earning $200,000 mean Matto had to fart 200 times into jars, and that doesn't take into account all the times her wind didn't get trapped quite right. We assume that happened. At her most productive, Matto was filling 97 jars over 2 days. That's a lot of gas to blast out of your ass. What? You know, I just finished watching The Eternals last night, and one thing that one of the Eternals said after he was, we'll talk about that in another episode, but one of his quotes was, "The humans are a failed experiment." And I can't. Oh goodness, I have to laugh about this. This is too crazy. But at the same time, I'm like, as an entrepreneur, do your thing, girl. Make your money. I'm proud you were able to monetize that because other people are doing it for free. So, hey. But anyways, so as you can probably imagine, normal human bowel function really shouldn't produce that much gas. To cope with the ever-increasing demand for her farts, Matto resorted to extreme measures. She decided to change her diet to one that would promote gas production. Just typing about what she ate makes us feel like having a movement. I like to get things rolling with some beans, a protein muffin, sometimes even yogurt. Less sugar is better. Some hard-boiled eggs, the ex-reality star detailed on Instagram. While waiting for those farts to develop, I like to read. I'm very smart. I love to read. As her business boomed, Motto started guzzling protein milkshakes. The goal here was to make her farts more pungent. Yeah. Because that's apparently a thing that increases demand. To the hospital. Motto's stomach bloating diet was definitely good for her wallet, but you can't say the same about her intestines. Eventually, the consequences of feeding on nothing but beans and protein caught up to her. I remember within one day, I had about 3 protein shakes and a huge bowl of black bean soup. I could tell that something was not right, that even when I was lying in bed, I could feel the pressure in my stomach moving upward, she recalled. So soon, Motto began experiencing difficulty breathing and started feeling the pinch around her heart. I actually called my friend and asked if they could come over to drive me to the hospital because I thought I was experiencing a heart attack, she said. Into the hospital she went. She didn't tell the doctor about her fart business, but she did detail her diet. The good news is that Motto wasn't about to have a heart attack. Instead, she was simply experiencing pain from excessive gas buildup. Who would have thought? Unsurprisingly, the doctors weren't on board with her eating habits. I was advised to change my diet and take a gas suppressant medication, which has effectively ended my business, Motto said, branching out the business. So far, I'm used to saying so far. So after 2 months of raking it in, this means no more selling jarred farts for Motto. Or that's what you think. As she said, she is a smart woman. She never expected to keep passing gas at this rate indefinitely. I was overdoing it. The diet was never sustainable and there was always an expiration date, Motto said. Although she can't let it rip like she used to, Motto hasn't completely given up on the fart business. She's now selling fart jars as NFTs. An NFT, or non-fungible token, is essentially a JPEG picture. The owner's purchase receipt is tied to a blockchain, certifying that the picture belongs to them. NFTs have recently been a divisive topic, to say the least, but Motto has decided to make full use of the technology. Each token sells for about $200, and you can use them to earn physical rewards. You'll be able to redeem 100 tokens for a good old-fashioned fart jar. For $70, you can instead get a pair of Motto's used, oh my goodness, lady garments. People are also able to cash in 30 tokens for lingerie Motto's worn. In 10 tokens, you can get a jar that Motto has. Yeah, we're going to skip that one. Any business is a business, we suppose. Now, excuse us while we go and try to forget we ever wrote the story. All right. Yeah, I had seen this and I thought it was funny. My opinion on this. Again, half of me is like, really? And the other half of me, which is the entrepreneur side, is like, that's all right. Do your thing. Again, I don't judge anyone. I just don't, because you don't know anyone's story. And plus, we're not the authority. No one is in authority to judge anyone, not even quote unquote judges. No one is really of that high authority. So for me, I look at it as people being people. She decided that, hey, this might be a way to make money. We live in an environment where you have to make money to live. in maybe after the 90 Day Fiancé, other opportunities were not available to her like they were. Because with reality TV, sometimes you'll do a reality show and then you never do any more. Or whether you want to or don't want to, you just don't do it. I've done a reality show before, because I did many years ago. Because it was on the Learning Channel, TLC. I did Ballroom Boot Camp. And after that, that was it. It wasn't anything that I was really pursuing. I had been in like other movies and stuff as an extra and, doing background. But reality it wasn't like, okay, let me go on all these reality casting calls and all this other stuff. It was just, I had happened to see the Ballroom Boot Camp one. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Let me just go ahead and send off my picture and see what happens. And I sent off my picture, and they called me in, and I met with the casting directors. And then they're like, yeah, we want you to be on the show. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But after that, that was it. I didn't do anything else with reality TV. And for some people, they honestly want to pursue a career in reality TV, but it's not always in the cards. It just isn't. Here comes the person doing the trash thing. Again, maintenance is always around cleaning, which is, glass half full is a good thing. I was talking to some of my coworkers yesterday because it was going on then too. But back to this. So yeah, if the offers were not coming in for reality TV roles or for regular acting roles or for a regular job per se, maybe she has a set of skills that do not fit the current job market, because obviously there are job openings, but her skill set is not a match right now. Then she had to figure out, okay, well, how can I make money? Because I have to make money to live. I have to eat. I have to pay the bills. I have to do this. I have to do that. And apparently, this made her some money. I mean, as crass as this whole subject and everything has been, this brought in $200,000. And minus the medical bill that she had to pay after all of this went down, I mean, you have to still say, okay, well, she made enough to at least pay the bills for a little while. So yeah, I don't judge it. Kudos to her. I'm just going to leave it at that. Let me get going because I have things to do. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, be blessed.